Hello everyone, Mark here, Mark's Max Muscle, and we are looking at Derek Lunsford from the 2024 Mr. Olympia event. Now Derek, look at both arms and then go boom. Take a look at this hunk of man. He looked pretty impressive, and if you ask me, I think he looked better than the year before. I can't pretend any longer. And for those of you who do follow all of my videos, you know I did put one out before the Olympia was even over. And I said that Derek Lunsford looked better than ever before. I was kind of hush-hush about it. Afterwards, after he went and placed third. So Derek Lunsford, in my opinion, and guys, gals, everybody in between, I think it should be everybody's opinion that, at least in certain aspects, Derek Lunsford had improved, whether it be quad sweep, overall look, heck, even facially. He looks more handsome. But all seriousness, guys, he absolutely improved the chest. The chest was one of his biggest criticisms. His great big man's far pec, obviously the close pec, definitely improved. The only real argument was his bum, I guess, which is kind of foolish, guys. Isn't it? His glutes might have been slightly more striated, but his back looked better, did it not? And considering his abs and chest, things of that nature, were his biggest criticisms. Criticisms? Is that a proper terminology? I think absolutely this was a much better version of Derek Lunsford than when he actually won the title. And that's what this video is about. And Derek Lunsford was bodybuilder number 1, who was the Mr. Olympia champion, actually improved, and lost his title. In fact, he placed third. Didn't even place second. So it was extra onion in that Derek Lunsford ointment cream. But anyway, why did he lose? Was it politics? Things of that nature? Did he not go to the Pittsburgh Pro like other people we don't need to mention that will not be on this video, by the way? No. Samson Dauda happened, and Samson nailed it. So that's why Derek Lunsford lost. There was nothing really he could have done to prevent himself from losing against that Samson Dauda. But anyway, Derek Lunsford, bodybuilder number 1 on the list. Number 2, we have to go back into the olden days. As you can see, these old black and white photos. This is Sergio Oliva, and he was the Mr. Olympia champion after the 1969 event. And it was his third title, actually. And he was the only man ever, food for thought here, that defeated Arnold Schwarzenegger. You should know that piece of information. The only man ever to defeat Arnold Schwarzenegger on the Olympia stage. A couple other guys, Chet, something or other, Yorton, Frank Zane defeated Arnold on other stages. But if it didn't happen on the Olympia, didn't matter, right? Well, pictures are very limited, and I'm going to go on 2 things, and one of them is the very limited pictures, and the fact that Sergio Oliva, he always got better, didn't he? Well, here's Sergio the very next year, 1970. Looks like he put on some beef, if you ask me. But either way, he was definitely no worse. And in my opinion, he was actually better in 1970. And he lost. So why did he lose? Well, he lost to Arnold, first of all. So, was Arnold just that good, or was there politics involved? I definitely was not there, nor was I even thought of at that point in time. But I do hear some things about, you know what I'm saying. Joe Weider wanted Arnold to be champion. So politics could have been involved in that, and I hate to dig into this too much, but Sergio, he continued to improve from 1970 to 71 up until he culminated his improvements 1972. And a lot of people, I would say well over half, that were either there or seen a lot of video footage, or picture footage rather, would suggest that Sergio Oliva was better than Arnold Schwarzenegger in 1972. So the guy continued to improve after he lost his title time and time again. And he was rewarded with a second place each and every time. And that was last time Arnold and Sergio did battle on the Olympia stage. But anyway, that is Sergio Oliva. That is bodybuilder number 2 that improved as Olympia champion and still lost anyway. Here's number 3 on the list. I am sure you are all familiar with Jay Cutler. I know I am. Yes, Jason. 2007, Jason. Not the best Olympia winning version of this man. You can see Dexter the Blade Jackson. He is letting him know, you look like this next year, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. That's what he told him. Well, I'm just making that up. And you can see Joe Weider there. Oh, I don't know, Jay, just barely. Actually, that's Ben. I don't know, Jay, you just barely scraped by. I don't know how to do the Ben Weider. But either way, guys, Jay Cutler, he sucked 2007. So the following year, 2008, in my opinion, in my estimation, he improved a little bit, just slightly. But then he lost. So they gave him a loss, in my opinion, to punish him from the previous year's suckiness. So we have a situation here where I believe a Mr. Olympia champion improved and he still lost. Is that accurate? Is he actually better in 2008? Well, I did the comparison a long time ago, and judging by a couple of the shots, I mean, they're pretty close versions. The arms, definitely something going on with the right bicep in 2007. And look at the weird little peak on his good arm, on his left arm. And it seems to be slightly improved, I would wager to say, in 2008. But having said that, you look at the back, and there can be no question. I mean, yeah, granted, 2008, he was off. He had a soggy donk. But the 2007 Jay Cutler bum, this is the softest Mr. Olympia buttocks, glutes. Let's get appropriate here. The softest glutes since the 80s. Since Lee Haney's day. And Rich Gaspari, probably the only one with glutes back then, for goodness sakes. So having said that, and I mean the abs, even in the abs, 2008, it's close, a lot of the shots, but absolutely, 2008 was improved. So another situation where there was an Olympia champion, he returned looking even better than the previous year. And he still lost. And this time, it's an interesting situation because I believe he lost because he was punished from the previous year. Much like Ronnie Coleman at the Show of Strength. If you know what I'm sing. And he lost to Dexter the Blade Jackson, which is a perfect segue into our final bodybuilder, which is, of course, Dexter the Blade Jackson. And like I mentioned, he did in fact dethrone Jay Cutler in 2008. And at the time, this was the best Dexter the Blade Jackson I think that we've ever seen. He was crisp, he was full, conditioned, and he was the best man on the bodybuilding stage that night. Obviously, the judges picked him. And here's the thing. He returned the following year to retain his title. And he was better. He did everything in his power to hang on to that title. He was more ripped. It looked like he was heavier. So size and condition. And he ended up losing his title. Not only that, but an extra onion in his ointment as well. Like Derek Lunsford. Just like Derek, actually. He placed third. For goodness sakes. Now, did he actually improve, or do I just speak loose? You can see in the front double bicep pose, arms are big and full, maybe a little bit rounder and peakier if you could imagine that, in 2009. And when you look at the midsection, slightly more peeled in the abs as well. The back's pretty similar, I would suggest. I mean, it's definitely no worse. If any of the two are going to be better, it would be 2009. But at the end of the day, there is absolutely certain poses, like this most muscular. There's a side chest as well. Go ahead, have a look. Might even be worth to do an entire comparison between these two versions. But I would say, hands down, 2009 is far superior. Dexter the Blade Jackson. So why did he lose? Was it politics? Like Sergio Oliva? Was he being punished? Did he drop the ball in 2008? No. Just exactly like Derek Lunsford. Well, not exactly, but like Derek Lunsford, it was a guy that was better, and it was Jay Cutler. And he returned the following year, 2009, and I mean, the rest is history. We all know Jay Cutler. He's the only man in history to lose the title and improve that much that he won it back. But poor Dexter placing third, that's a little unfair, I have to say. And I'm going to end the video by saying that I think he might even been disrespected in his placings. Of course, Branch Warren, he was heck on wheels too. I'd like to do a top 3 2009 between a top 3 in this year, 2024. It'd be interesting. That would be very good, wouldn't it? Anyway, lads, laddises, those are 4 Mr. Olympia champions that improved as Olympia champion, came back looking better than they did when they won the title, or at least retained it, Jay Cutler's case, and they still ended up losing. Now, a couple of honorable mentions would be Phil Heath, 2018. He actually improved in the midsection anyway. From 2017, it was terrible, and he lost his title. And some people would even suggest Hattie Shupin, 2023, actually improved from 2022, but still ended up losing. That is the way the cookie crumbles, sometimes. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. I thoroughly enjoy setting these ones up, looking through relearning the history of bodybuilding, things of that nature, things you didn't know. Dexter was 23, number 23 at the 2009 Olympia, but you didn't know that. Have a great one, guys.